Yeah, man, people, welcome back to Nicola Media House, man. One, go one up on the Jamaican Boys anniversary. Qualified, for the World Cup. Something 26 years ago. It's been a long time, man. It's been a really long time. I have no memories of that. I was a kid. Don't remember anything about that. So that's why I'd love the man them, to recreate something like that. Coming up for the next FIFA World Cup in America, Canada, and Mexico. So the younger generation of this time, can have a little experience of what it is, to support your country, in a FIFA World Cup, But there again, it's not going to be a long, like a quick and spicy, preview, but just keep on one tell the people, keep supporting, the channel, keep supporting all the videos, man. It's really mean a lot, But I just wanna, big up all the players, play for the Reggae Boys, over the years, in the 90s, the one that, qualified us for that FIFA World Cup in France, 98, it's mean a lot. It's a good history, it's something that, as a youth that was like, what, 2, 3 years old at the time, every time when memories like this come up, I always try to go back, on YouTube and just watch back the games. It's just crazy, it's just crazy to see that, back in 98, our country, a little small island like us, playing in the World Cup, it's just a great achievement for us, So, yeah, I would love the man them to do it again, so I can have some fresh memories, don't have to go back on YouTube and watch any clips of anything like that. But yeah, anniversary, you got to tap out with more, man, for our player, who scored a couple goals in that tournament for us, Big up all of the UK players that came in the team. Big up all of the Jamaican born players. It's one Jamaican. Big up the man himself. One of my not one of he is my favorite player. Of all time. Walter, Blacker, Pearl, Boyd. I've seen him. I've seen him. In his lateral part of his career. When he's kind of getting to that end of his career. I've seen him play, for the Reggae Boys. Seen him a lot. I've seen him. The most I see Black Pearl play it was back in the early 2000s. When he was playing for Arnett Garden. When they had and Andelo and players like that. That's my memories. For Walter Boy playing. On the field. Just watching him in the red and black. Not many memories I can remember seeing. He's a better player for me. I always put on that, that black, green, and gold color. You know, love it, man. And I feel big up, man himself like Pepe Goodison, Ricardo Gardner. It's a long list, man. It's a long list. Robbie Earl, Dion Burt, and all those overseas players. Fitzroy Simpson. Everyone that's played their part. Everyone that's come on board. You all are part of the history. It doesn't matter if you born in the UK or if you born outside of the UK, Jamaica. It doesn't matter where you're born. It's just one Jamaica. And we just celebrating this anniversary, November the 16th. It's a special day in Jamaican football. So want everyone to really appreciate it. It's a big history. It's something that huge. Not many countries can say that they qualified for a FIFA World Cup. And the Reggae Girls did it back to back. In France 2019. And that what they did, in Australia and New Zealand is just amazing. Just a couple months ago. So yeah, big thing. And the under 17 team, qualified in that 2011. under 20 team, I think in that early 2000, was it 2003? I don't remember, something right there, but yeah, qualified for a couple World Cups there and there, appreciate it, man. Everyone that's, came on board. But one of my biggest, history of watching Jamaican football, it doesn't matter the youth stage, is seeing our girls, getting that point against Brazil, getting that point against, France, and, see the young Reggae boys in 2011, that was my age group, those players I play with them day in and day out, in 2011 in Mexico, when that team qualified, big up to a man like Jason Wright, he brought the Jamaican team and is back in the qualifier. I think he got leading goal scorer. He scored, I think, 5 or 6 goals, in that tournament. So, big up, Zelano Band, formerly of, Excelsior, STGC, Cavaliers, I think Dundee. But yeah, people, this is Nicola Media was there for, a little preview of what to come, I expect tomorrow from the boys in the office, man. People come out and support the game. It's going to be a big game. We can't let this opportunity slide. We need to be in the Copa next year. So we need that positive result in that first leg, in Kingston. But it's not a beautiful sight right now, in Kingston. It's like a blizzard weather, a lot of rain all over the place, man. The place is wet, but it's one of the best time, to play some football on a greasy surface, So I hope, that can help, elevate the players game tomorrow, and I hope, the anniversary for today, can help motivate, the players, just to try to go out there and, try to recreate what the boys did, back in 97 against Mexico, getting that point, hope we can get that positive result tomorrow against Canada. It will mean a lot, because going over there in Toronto, it just won't be easy. It just won't be easy, as, this game been sold out for I think a couple of weeks now. Since that, I think the tickets dropped. I think a couple of weeks ago the tickets dropped, and went on sale, and it only took a week, or probably less than a week, before all tickets are gone off the market. Only if you are some big executive guys, you can get some of those elite tickets to go in. But as an average fans man, you just can't get those tickets. Everything gone off the shelf. We saw what the Reggae girls, did, what they did in Canada when they go over there. It was just a jam-packed BMO field, and whenever Canada played a home game, they feel 11 players, but it's actually 12 players, because the fans make it 12 man, and they're going to be on top of their voice. That's their traditional feel. They don't like to lose. And Jamaica, we have never beaten this a Canada team. It doesn't matter which year, what era, we haven't beat them in Canada. When it come on to a competitive game, I think the last time, we got a fairly positive points against a Canada team in Canada. I think it was back in 2008. It was a World Cup. It was a World Cup qualifying game, and we drew that game, So yeah, that was, I think, the last time I remember, getting that positive result in Canada. But on the other side, Canada have a terrible farm, in the office, give you that stats a little bit later from now, But the pitch is looking really great, compared to what happened last the opening games of the group stage, playing Honduras at home and Haiti at home, we played on that atrocious pitch. It was terrible, it was bad, it was in really dark condition, but now it's looked more greenery, look really flat, it looked really well prepared. The coach spoke about it, said the pitch is looking really good, compared to the last, set of games that played, in Jamaica, that Chris Brown concert and all of that, and that festival, 2 festival in the space of a couple of weeks, damage the pitch. So yeah, the pitch is in back how it's supposed to look, looking really good. Couple injury concern, I spoke about it, last night. in on live, the Amari Bell, the Luton Town defender, Damari Gray from, played in the Saudi Arabian League, man, both of them still not ruled out yet, as the coach he spoke about it, in the press conference about, players going to get another assessment tomorrow, so let's see, but to be honest, Amari Bell, he picked up a hamstring injury, I think it was back when they played Burnley at home, that game he played like 27 minutes in the game, they took him off, but that's a muscle injury. I wouldn't necessarily try to get him back, in this game tomorrow. I probably rest him up, for that away game next week Tuesday in Toronto, that will be, a crucial game. So I think we have players that can fulfill, his spot, can come in for him and do a really good job. Greg Lee is there, and Tavon Gray, is a player that, he could play that little bit on that left side, but we pretty much light in that left back area. To be honest, it's just Greg Lee as a natural fullback, left back who is really fit at the moment. So yeah, you know, Gray on the other side, Damari Gray have scored 3 goals in the group stage, of the Concacaf Nation League, building up to this game. So he's someone that's really crucial. I think he got that goal against Honduras at home. He's got a really important goal, to get us the 3 points. So yeah, he's a very good player. He's the one that was one of our brightest sparks. The last Gold Cup that we played, he was really good. So yeah, hope we can get him. Get him to. He's the only player that out of the two, I would say, we probably can put him in. I don't know the type of injury that he's carrying, but it's kind of probably a minor, because if it was something that really serious, it wouldn't be that he will still be a chance for him to play tomorrow. So yeah, but we need him. He's a talisman of the team. He's the one that's been scoring lately. He's the one that's been carrying the team on his back and all of that. But Tariq McGee, he had a training session with with the squad. The coach, he spoke about it, that because of a lot of injury concerns in the squad. So he's there. So why not just put him in the squad and let him feel the train with the first string team, as he played over the weekend, a couple of days ago in New York against Guatemala. And the coach said he really impressed of what he saw about Tariq McGee. He's really like what he displayed, in the game. He's a really good player. We know Tariq McGee is a really good player, and he brought him in the squad to have a training session with everyone. And there's another player, Devante Cole, the man from Barnsley, he's really on good form. Devante Cole, he's an English-born player. He's another one that about to get his passport anytime from now. They spoke about it in the press conference that he was on the island. So why not just invite him to come on board and practice, and the coach can have a close look at him. How he cooperate in training and stuff like that. And Devante Cole, he played 16 games already, for Barnsley, and he scored 11 goals. So yeah, he's on his form of his life. I think he's been there at Barnsley for the last couple of seasons. I think 2011, 2021. He's been playing for Barnsley, I think. So he's a really good player. Never seen much of him before. But as what I heard and what I read about him, it seems to be that goal poacher, that someone that, will take his chance, and that's what we want, in the Reggae Boyz system. Someone that can come in, whenever you get that one chance, especially coming up against Canada, like, in the future, work up qualify games, against Mexico and all these big teams, Costa Rica, Panama, you're not going to create many chances, clear-cut chances. So yeah, when you get a chance, you need to put them away. And he's a really good striker. He has been improving a lot, over the years, playing in the third tier of the pyramid in the English football, but Devante Cole, he will, he will be a good addition to the team, in the near future whenever he got his paperwork, sorted out. But I just love to see, younger players. I'm growing up, watching the Reggae Boys team, and how they recruit and like recruit players from in the UK. It's never a good look. We always go for some 31, 32 years old, to come and represent us, right, like probably a month or two just before whenever a World Cup qualifier campaign about to start. And then when the World Cup campaign finish, we don't hear from them, we don't see them again. We go for a next set of a group of players that come to represent in the next cycle, and it's just a cycle just continue. But over the probably the last 5 years, I was probably say 6 years, the recruitment, especially since this Icelandic coach came on board, it's been a little different. He's going for younger players, players that mid 20s, close to 30s, but it's good. And players that want to come. You don't really want players that is 50-50. He's wondering if he's going to play for Calabash Digger Adventure. Yeah, big up yourself. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's you have to improve. I'm just 5 months in it now doing YouTube, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is a part of my therapy. So yeah, I have to be keeping improving. The more the channel grow, it's going to call for more improvement and better equipment. So yeah, and feed the people with the right energy. Good audio, visual, everything. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. Mean a lot. But yeah, the recruitment, I love it, man. You see a player, you saw a player like Joel Latibodier, Lembesika, came in. I think we have a young kid from the Fulham academy. You saw Omar Ochin. So all these players are really young. Kara Anderson for Charlton Athletic. These players are really young. So yeah, it's a good look, for us. And Devante Cole is striker. He's in his 20s. There and there, I think 27 right there. But yeah, these are the players that want. Wish we can get them a little bit younger. We see players, coming into the U20 system for the Reggae Boys. Is coming from the UK. Coming younger. So yeah, it will only get better from here. But on the other side, we still don't want to do things where we let the youngsters, in Jamaica locally see that you want the locals, youth them who's playing in the schoolboy football and who is in academies, in Jamaica feel like they have a chance. You don't want to get all recruitments from overseas in the UK and Canada and the US area. We always want to give those players a chance, let them feel like there is a possibility, they can get called up in the national team. So yeah, it's a good look. And I've been watching a couple of press conference, the Reggae Boy assistant coach, U20 coach, John was speaking about the under 20 and the system, and how the preparation is coming up for that World Cup. So yeah, it's everything just seems like it's kind of finding its right feet now. It's settling, and everything. So yeah, big up to the coaching staff, the Icelandic coaching staff. They look well professional, they look well organized, they look well structured. As people from the Scandinavian era, they are one of the most organized people, that they like to do things with a structure. We saw the Swedish team play, the Norwegian team play, the Icelandic team, back in 2018. And in the Euros, in France, we saw what they did, and they look a well organized team. So the coach is getting things day by day. It's getting better. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Daniel, big up yourself. Do what you say. People. This is Daniel Football Show. I spoke about his channel. Co-host on the Prem podcast. Big up himself. Go over there and give him a support. doing really good. You want to know anything about Germany and Chelsea? That's where you can go. And Calabash the adventures, man. Yeah, I remember when we met. In downtown Charleston, man. On the rooftop. When with that camera we were zooming in right and towards the moon. But 1 second, people. Yeah, sorry about that, people. But yeah, man. Yeah, as I was saying, Calabash, big up yourself. Really appreciate it, man. I would love to get some of those lenses. You're displaying to me. But it's just time. But yeah, man, people. Jamaica versus Kenya, as Daniel said. 2-1. 2-1 for the Reggae Boys. But the format about this Concacaf Nations League. I'm going to read something, the format, to determine the semifinalists, so to determine, the semifinal pairings, the four participant nations will be ranked from 1 to 4 according to their performance in the quarterfinals, points and if required, goal difference with the highest ranked team facing the lowest ranked team. So as you guys can see, rank number one team will play, the fourth ranked team, and second ranked team will play the third ranked team, but but yeah. So yeah, that's the format, so the best they will put it in a pool, and towards all they will do the semifinal appearance. So I think US is the number one ranking team, in the Concacaf, but that will not determine how they will pay, in the semifinal if they beat Trinidad and Tobago. It's all down to the quarterfinals performance. So whoever finish the most points will rank one, and those four teams will go on and play next year. And I think those games will play next year, March the 21st and 20. I think the semifinal will play on March 21st, and the final will play on a Sunday. I think that will be the 25th, something like that. But yeah, the rest of the semifinal will play next week, but next year. So anyone win the quarterfinals, will book their spot, to the Copa America with the big boys, in the summer. But I want to say this. I've been hearing stuff about the Reggae Boys. The Reggae Boys, going away to Canada. It will be cold. It will be all of that. But I don't think, as if you hear a little noise or rumbling in the background. The maintenance is repairing something in the bathroom. So yeah, but they people are saying that getting that result, in Jamaica is massive. Yes, because it will be cold, it will be all of that in Canada. But at the end of the day, when you really look at it, the Reggae Boys, But by the way, when choose a kickoff in Toronto, at 7, it will be a 40 degrees Fahrenheit weather in Toronto. That's not really cold, to be honest. So I don't think I'm not worrying about, the Reggae Boys will go up, in Toronto in a very cold weather. We have so much players. We have 13 players in the squad that who born in the UK, who played in the English system. We have players that we have what 5 players I think in this squad that played in the English Premier League. Outside, I think one outside of that, is Leon Bailey, who's a Jamaican man. But Leon Bailey been in Europe for a while now. In Austria, Belgium, Netherlands, you name it, Germany, all over. So yeah, the cold, I don't think the cold will affect him. And the rest of players, as I said, League One and Championship, players are playing, in the cold all year round. And then we have players that, like who born in Jamaica, who is playing overseas. Blake and Lowe is playing for Philly. And, I watched the game already, at Philadelphia, and it's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's a open stadium. All that breeze is coming off that lake. It's not a joke. And then, Damian Lowe on the other side, he played already in Norway, in Scandinavia. So yeah, I mean, he used to the cold. He played in Seattle. So these are players that well suited to play in the cold weather. And Javian Brown, the right back, he's playing in Canada at Vancouver Whitecaps. It's close to British Columbia. That's British Columbia is no joke. So Javian Brown, and he won't be bothered by the cold. And Shaman Nicholson, he played in Russia. He played in Slovakia. I remember, is it Slovakia or Slovenia? I remember when Boyz did, I think he did an interview, and he spoke about playing, I think in MK Damziel, the team that he was playing for, in the north of Europe. I think it's Slovenia. He said that at one point when he finished training, his toe got black, the nail got so black that he can't even kick a ball again. And it happened to me too, playing in the cold. So, these players are well equipped for the cold. Boyz playing in Belgium. He's currently in France. He was in Russia. So, yeah, he's well equipped for the cold. Romaro Williams is a player that, being around the blocks for a while now. And, Romy he played his USL games in Colorado, with altitude, and it's cold. So, our players, is well equipped. It's just that we have that one local player, in the team, Damara Phillips, might be bothered, but, I don't think it will be bothered that much. I seen him played in that cold night in New York against Guatemala, and he looked to be really good. And, the keeper, Jamal Wade, he played for Pittsburgh Rounds. So, yeah, I mean, our squad is well equipped to play in a cold weather, so I'm not going to criticize the players or, follow people and say that, it will be a cold night in Toronto, but our players are well equipped. We have 13 UK players that born in England, and we have players that played in cold countries. So, that's one thing, we should just rubbish and just move on from that. But the coach, he spoke about, the team is playing a little bit better, in longer spells. Yeah, I agree with him, to be honest, 100%. You can see, a little difference in this team, compared to a parallel team, a Tapa team. You could see a difference in it. This team is having longer spells where we try to control the games, where we have a lot of moments, where we have been creating chances. And, this coach, he had played 10 games. He has coached, not he's been in the dugout for 10 games, 10 officials game. He played a couple unofficials game, two against Trinidad at home, one in Montego Bay, one in Kingston. We lose the first one and drew the other one in Kingston. And we played his first game, I think, unofficial game, it was in Cameroon. We lost that game, I think, 1-0. And, the other game we played Saturday Garden against Guatemala, but he had 10 officials game and he only lost one game. This coach have only lost one single game, and that game was in the semi-final, in the Gold Cup. So yeah, he's doing really good. He's kind of, getting the team together. Everyone is chilling. Everyone is finding that system. Everyone is getting that little mojo of what the coach wants from them. So, as I said, 10 games for Coach Armgate Green's officials game, he won 6, he drew 3, and he lost 1. In those 10 games, Jamaica have conceded 10 goals. I think we conceded 2 goals The highest we ever conceded in our game, it was 2 goals, two against 80, one in Trinidad, that game in Trinidad and that game in Kingston. And the other game we conceded 2 or more, it was against Mexico in that semi-final. So, I mean, I would love to see things a little bit more sharper at the back, try to make less defensive errors as those 2 goals, in Jamaica against Haiti, because of defensive error, so but we can keep it a little bit more tighter, but yeah, those are the little stats about the coach only last 1 game, competitive game, and coming up, in this Nation League in the group stage, Boyz have scored 2 goals. He's on a little farm, coming in from Claremont, he scored, over I think his last game. Bobby Reid is an ex-player. Bobby Reid have scored 2 goals, 1 assist, and he's still working very hard for his team. Bobby Reid have been known for scoring for the Reggae Boyz, in the Concacaf Nations League. And I would love one of those goals tomorrow from the man them called Dexter. And going to, move on, and different topics of runs, watching, other teams playing this Canada team. This Canada team, most of their games that they played, I don't want to go in the Gold Cup games because they literally played, they pick a weaker a squad, to play in the Gold Cup, but talking about what I saw in that World Cup, the games that we lost to Belgium, the game that we lost to Morocco, and I think they lost, and I don't remember the other team that beat them. I think they lost to Croatia, so 1-0 to Belgium, 4-1 to Croatia, and 2-1 to Morocco. Those are the 3 games. They came dead last in the zone. But when I really watch and this Canada team play, I said this, last night, that one of the easiest way is to break Canada down. You can't break them down through the middle. They like to pack the middle with a lot of players. We can exploit them, down on both sides. They have a very strong right side. I would say that's one of the strongest side. You can score less goals on, but to exploit that left side, especially when Gray, Alfonso Davis, played on that left side. He will always want to attack. And I think that Canada, is a team when they play that 3-5-2 system, they look as if, they just love to attack, and going down that left side, you will always have space. And I just feel like, this coach, Jamaican coach, it's a blessing in the sky, to see that, he's a 4-4-2 man. And, the 4-4-2 is one of the easiest way to break down any formation that comes through at the back, as you going to play with just 2 flank man, who's going to run the channels for you. And, playing in the 4-4-2, you will always have fullbacks, going up, and you have those wingers. So, yeah, you can always overload, those areas, but I would love to, see whenever, Alfonso, is getting space and coming down, especially when Jamaica is coming off an attack and they're making that transition. He got the ball on his side. I would love to see the fullback, just be grounded, don't rush in, and a midfield player, because more likely if he's coming down that his left side, the player that's going to play on the right side, the right winger for us, he's going to get caught up the field, so it's going to take a little time for him to get back. So, one of those midfielders, for the Reggae Boyz, can always push over, and all that players, kind of shift a little bit from our left side coming over to our right side to just block those passage, just for him not to have his field here. We knew what Alfonso can do. He's a very good player. He got qualities on top of qualities. He got good crosses in. He had a good left foot where he can shoot from distance. So yeah, I think we should block passage, but we need to exploit them, through that era. Their left centre back, if they play that back three, and their wing back, I want to see Alfonso play that wing back position. We can let him work over there. We can let him work, because playing that position, it's not easy. It's one of the hardest positions to play on a football pitch, when you playing that three at the back, the wing players, the team depend on you defensively and attacking wise, to give them the width, and to give them the support going up. So, if we can pick our chances and work, and we can overload, the areas, as I said, the right side, they have this player, usually playing at right side. I think his name is Alistair Johnston. He played for Celtic. I think he's a very good player. He's a really good player. He like to bump forward, but sometimes I feel like they always play them at right centre back sometime, and they can play Buchanan. Buchanan is another player that playing for Club Brugge. He's been playing at right back, and when he played for the Canadian national team, he's played at right wing, at centre forward. So I don't know, man. Buchanan is playing as a right back mostly for Club Brugge, but yeah, I just want a really good solid tactics, get on the front foot, get the Reggae Boyz fans, in tune of everything, get them hype up, get them blowing those trumpet, get them, saying all those words, making noise and stuff like that, and then you can have your fans in the game in the first 15 minutes, and from there, you never know what can happen, but as I said, a couple of results, this Canada team, playing Kingston, they have a poor result, in Kingston, whenever they play World Cup qualifier and friendlies, in those results, all those, I think this is around 11, the 11 meetings, in Kingston, since 2021, the last time when we played in that World Cup qualifier, when we drew 0-0 to 1985, they don't have a favorable result in their way, so that game in 2021, we drew 0-0, in 2010 we played an international friendly, we won that game 1-0. In 2010, and 2008 in November window, we played them in a World Cup qualifier. We beat them 3-0. In 2006, we played them again in an international friendly. We beat them 2-1. In September of 97, a World Cup qualifier, we beat them 1-0. And in 92 of a World Cup qualifier, we drew with them 1-1 in April. Of 88, we played that friendly, and that was after that they beat us 4-0 in a game. So yeah, 1998 was the last time a Canada national team come to Jamaica and beat us on a FIFA window, but they just never get that 3 points at all in Kingston from us. So that's a positive. Most of the times in a game, sometimes when the whistle, as soon as that whistle blow, all history and everything put one side, and it's all down to what happened on the pitch. But this is just a trend, for the Canadian national team, as they call them, the Canucks. So yeah, I don't think they will get a result tomorrow, man. I hope not. A little bit about why I feel like this Canada team will play a 3 at the back system. In their squad, they have 4 centre backs. They have 4 centre backs. Derek Colinius, Kamal Miller, Victoria, and they are a young player. He's in the academy. He's 18 years old at Fulham. Luke De Fregiolis. Hope I pronounce his name correct. But they have 4 centre back. And they have a little bit of wingers, wing backs. You call him now, Samuel Adikuji. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. And they got Richie Larea, and Alistair Johnstone, and yeah. So, but the midfield, it's surprisingly, their midfield, they name 5 players, in the midfield, and all 5 players are central midfielder. That's how I know that, they're going to come with 3 at the back. That's how they're going to play. And, they have a lot of centre forward. They have Tajon Buckingham, Lucas Cavallini. I think he wasn't in the squad when the last time we played them. Jonathan David, he missed a penalty the last time they played against Japan. Junior Highland, and they have Judah Islet, is a player, been playing for a while, in England, but I think now he's in the MLS, but he's a good player, same way he can provide something, I think in the last time in the World Cup, he scored 1 goal and assist 2. So yeah, good man, to come off the bench. And Kyle Larin, the man who is playing in La Liga, center forward again, Liam Millar, they don't have much wingers, so I just know that it's going to be that back three again. So many center forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4.5. Buckingham is a center forward, but as I said, he's playing at right back for Club Brugge. But yeah, in the midfield though, one they have a key player. They have this player, he played for FC Porto. His name goes by Stephen Estoquio. He's a really good midfielder. He's the one that, going to settle things down in the midfield, for the Canadian team. And Osorio, he is that player that always show up for Canada, Osorio. Watching him over the years, man, playing for Toronto, he's a really good player. And they have a young player, Ishmael Kone. I think he played for Watford. He yet to score a goal in the championship, but he's a box-to-box midfielder, and I feel like, that is the midfield three, Mara Bielo might go with, Ishmael Kone, Osorio, and, the man that played for FC Porto, Stephen Estoquio, and, other players, Ali Ahmed, young player too, and Mark Anthony Kaye, knowing Kaye have some of his best season at LAFC, I think it's Portland Timbers, but yeah, I think he's at New England Revolution or something like that, but this team is a really good squad. Can't take them lightly. They're going to come, but they're just not going to get that result, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, as Chorus, they will always expose themselves. One of the ways, Chorus, Japan beat this team. On the day both teams, Canada started that game with three at the back. But that, a Japan team who is a well-organized team, who is well-structured, we saw them in the World Cup against Germany and Spain. Time and time, Japanese team sit back, but the Japanese team kind of surprised them, in that game. They exposed them down through the channels as their midfield was so open, and Canada go, I think, 20 minutes in the game, Canada switch to a back four, start to play that 4-4-2, and that's how they start to get a little grip on the game, But I feel like if we can do the same thing, high energy, pace, be right in their face, be aggressive, be the first one to win the second ball. Second balls will always be important, for the Reggae boys tomorrow. The second ball will always be important because when Canada can't have the opportunity to play the ball out, they're going to go long. They're going to go long to Kyle Larry, or they're going to go long towards Davis because he's a very good defender in the air. He likes to win challenges there. So I feel like, one of the best things is to attack them. They are not so good, in the back with the ball. I tell you, their back three might be Kamal Miller, the man play for Inter Miami, and they might go with Richie Laria, they might go with Richie Laria, and play. Is either they're going to play, Alistair Johnstone, the man that played for Celtic, think they might rotate there if they're going to play. Laria as a player can play. If it's a back four, he might play left back. But if it's a back three, I think he might play, in that back three, or he's going to play that right wing back. I think they will to swap position in that time, between him and Alistair Johnstone. But Derek Cornelius, he's a centre back. Kamal Miller, and I think they will go with Steven Vittoria. I think those players will be that. I think those three players will set up in the back four, for Mara Biela team tomorrow. Let's see if he could surprise us. Yeah, they used to a back three against Japan. And then at the end, in that midway of that first half, they kind of switched it to a back four, because they were getting overrun in those wing areas, and in the midfield. So yeah, they tried to go toe to toe back with Japan and try to match them with a 4-4 system, but it didn't work. Just a little concern about do you question, just a little concern about, yeah, to be honest, the weakest position, in Jamaica team, that where most goals come from over the last couple of games, is that right back and that right centre back. That's the problem for us. That's a problem for us. We saw what happened, in those games, but I feel like, we got this one tomorrow. We have to be pumped up. It's the anniversary. It's the anniversary, man. We have to be pumped for this game. Show some respect, to the 98 team that did great things. It's just we just cannot go into that game and fall short. We need something from the game. But yeah, Jabari Pinnock, big up yourself, but back three, they will always go with a back three. So in the Concacaf Nation League, Anthony Davis and Jonathan David, both of them, have 5-5 goals each, the last time they were in the Concacaf Nations League. So, those two players, scored more than 50% of the goals that Canada scored. They run to the final. Canada went to the final with America and got 2-0. So yeah, they are runner up. So they're someone that, we just cannot take lightly. And, it's just has to be good for us tomorrow. But people, I didn't plan to stay on here for too long. I have a flight to catch, a couple hours from now. So, people, everyone, supporting Kada Media House, really appreciate it, man. Thanks for supporting, thanks for stopping by, having a chit chat with me. But before I go, I would love to see, the predictions, what you guys think. You could just comment and tell me what you guys think, what will be the prediction for tomorrow's game. I would love to see that, how confident you guys are in Jamaica team. Let's see some prediction in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Daniel earlier said, Jamaica to win 2-1. Tell me what you guys think. But I'm just looking for a really good game. As I said earlier, it's going to be a wet surface in Kingston. Tomorrow. We saw the weather, the forecast. It's not something good. Hope the lightning and all of that effect can stay away from the game, so we can have that game go on. So yeah, one man said, we have scored 3. Chorus. That's a lot of confidence. I feel like we're gonna win this game 2-1. I feel like this is a 2-1 victory for us. Just feel like this is a 2-1 victory for us, to be honest. Jabari, give me your prediction score. Give me a prediction score for that game. Let's see what you guys think. My prediction score 2-1. 2-1 for the Reggae Boys. If not, we win 2-0. But I just feel like Canada will score tomorrow. It's my honest prediction. But people, as I said, I have to run. Really have to run. Get some stuff done for that flight. A couple. I hope that flight don't cancel, man. Yeah, Jabari said, 3-1. 3-1 is a big result. If we can get 3-1 going into Toronto next week, Tuesday, that's a massive result for us. Antonio drought is over tomorrow. Antonio drought is over tomorrow, man. Antonio haven't scored in a while. This man haven't scored in a while for the Reggae Boys, man. But people, I don't really worried about Antonio scoring goals because if he don't score, he will do stuff off the ball for us to score goals. It's how he did it in the Gold Cup. Over the summer. He disrupt game players at the back. He pressed the back line. He worked hard, and he's just a ticks in your body. For defenders. Defenders don't like to see you press them, and he's very physical. It's time and time we see Antonio pick up the ball, and turn on defenders in the World Cup and just start to run at them like a bulldozer, clearing his way, moving forward. And, that's the worst thing. Defenders, having a striker that is well equipped with strength, power, pace, everything about physical attributes, can leap, you can turn, you can make a quick burst of speed, leave you, but he just have to take his chance. I think we need, one of the things, why Antonio is really on this job, to be honest, too. We don't really get bars in the box. We don't get crosses into the box. And when you watch our West Ham team, they feed Mikel Antonio with ball. They feed him with ball, especially, Kufal, Jared Bowen, the long balls keep coming, for him to feed off, So, Antonio is one of those players in the English Premier League where I think he's best at it. He fight for scraps. He fight for scraps in the Premier League. And I think, just give him that opportunity where he can just fight for the ball. Just give him any 50-50, in the box, any ball, any deliverance in the box for him where he can challenge it. Defender will be scared. Just his presence, as Corey said, just his presence alone make defender afraid. So we're not giving him enough balls into the box, to be honest. We're not giving him the service. We're not, one of the things that we can use tomorrow, if Canada do play that island, sometimes they like to play that island in that back three, is that, as soon as they turn over the ball, you want Mikel Antonio. You don't want him really centrally with the back three. You just want him to just pull away. Is either if the left wing back or the right wing back going to push up. You want to sniff around in that area, and as soon as they turn over the ball, one of the first or the second pass should be in that area, giving Antonio the ball, because you see this Canada team, they're not blessed with speed. They're not blessed with pace in the back. I mean, Kamal Miller, the defender, he kind of he got some speed. Larea, he got some speed, but player like Steven Victoria, they are not quick. Derek Cornelius, he can make rational challenge. So I don't see any of these center half that they got in their squad can make a difference and mark Mikel Antonio. And they have a keeper. I think his name is Borjan. His name is Borjan. He's a legend keeper. He's a legendary keeper. 36, 35 years old now. He can make a mistake in our game. So that's the next thing. That I didn't see against the Reggae Boys against Guatemala. We didn't penetrate enough balls towards goal. We have to let the keeper work. Because I see a couple of mistakes that he made in that Japan game, and getting crosses into the box. Canada team time and time failed to defend crosses into the box. So having Mikel Antonio, having Shaman Nicholson, who's that 6'3", 6'4" presence, can always working hard, but we just need to get those deliveries in. That's the thing we don't really get from Javian Brown and Lemba, that's Dexter Lembesika. With crosses into the box, we are very poor with crosses into the box, to be honest. He said, the Canadian team don't trust Victoria. What's his name? Is it Victoria or Victoria? I kept saying Victoria, and you said Victoria, so I'm trying to make sure it's Victoria. It's not Victoria, it's Victoria. Yeah, Vitória, Steven Vitória, the man that's played for Chavez, in the Portuguese league. I think they have a couple of players playing in the Portuguese league, but yeah, just need to get crosses into the box. Canada team don't deal with crosses into the box well, and they are not blessed with pace back in their backline. So yeah, playing with with two strikers with that back three, it will do great things for us. You just have to learn to play that 4-4-2 system, especially defending in the transition. We have to, if a midfielder, one of those double pivot in that midfield area, get caught out, someone need to get in that midfield as quick as possible. So if one of the wingers or one of the strikers and just put in a sprint and just get back, in those space and just clogged up back everything, that's one way we can be solid. And whenever the ball is on that left-hand side, time and time I see this in the Mexican game. So the Mexican will pull us, to the right side, and they will have the ball down their right side. Jorge Sanchez, or is it Orbelin Peralta, or Antuna? But I think it was Antuna at the time, and Jorge Sanchez, was on that right side for the Mexican team, and they're just knocking the ball around on their right side, and we see, the player that, on the left side for the Reggae Boys, for the right side for the Reggae Boys, they just didn't come in and cover those spaces in the midfield. So we just always getting, overpowered by the Mexican in the middle, because they already have three midfielders at the time, Romo, Luis Chavez and Romo, and they have is either Eric Rodriguez, in the middle, and then they will have, one of the wingers, and it's what's his name? I think Orbelin Peralta, something like that. He's always drop into the middle. He always drop into the middle, and they always have at least four players, and they just killed us in the middle. So I hope we don't make that same mistake that we made, because the 4-4-2, Diego Simeone, played a 4-4-2, he normally played that 4-4-2 so good. I think he played that 4-4-2. The best manager I've seen, play that 4-4-2. He played it well, to be honest. And another manager that used to love play the 4-4-2, I see he played really well. It's hard to break down. And it's when, Sean Dice was at Burnley, he clogged up that midfield. The two wing players, come in and help both central midfielder, and you always have at least one or two, one of the two front men to drop back in that number 10. And you don't really want them to be chasing around. You just want them to just cover the space, clogged up the area so they can't play through us. Let them play out on the wing and try to push the ball in the box, giving crosses. I'm more confident, with Pinnock and Damian Lowe, dealing with the crosses, to be honest. And more than players running at them 1v1. I think they really poor at that. I've seen it in the Premier League with Pinnock. Players running at him 1v1. He don't really bless with a lot of pace, but good. He's kind of good 1v1, but coming up with players that really bless with pace, he's just going to kick the ball and just run past you. But yeah, but people, I'm at the hour mark right now. Let's take a few more. We need to dominate when it's 1v1. Yes. Especially, say, we trying to get them on the counter. Leon will have the ball, and, and Alfonso Davis will be up the other side, a defensive third, and you're coming up against one of the midfielder who's going to step across, or one of those back three players that want to come across and try to deal with you. You have to take them on 1v1 in emergency. You have to deal with them. You have to dismantle them as soon as possible and just try to disrupt them, and yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, Jabbar, we need to take them on 1v1, but Damari Gray is a player that really do good at that, in this squad, but he's not fit. Wonder where we go from here. No Cephas, no Cephas in the team. A man that scored 3 goals, in the Turkish league. Another player that, people been crying out for to get get back a selection is Jamal Lowe. You know, Jamal Lowe had played 11 games for Swansea in the championship. He started all games, 11 from 11, and you know he scored I think 6 goals so far. I think 3 of those goals are penalties. So we have some, we have some players that can always come in. But it will the squad. This is how I want to see the squad. A lot of depth, but I would love to see that depth in the midfield area. To be honest, who you guys think will play in that double play for tomorrow? In the midfield, that midfield too, is it Daniel Johnson and that Joel Latibody, or you will see Jonathan Russell and Joel Latibody. I think Joel Latibody has to start, even though I don't really want him to start, but he just needs someone athletic in the middle. We have so many players that don't use that athletic in the middle, in this squad. Kara Anderson, he's a box-to-box midfielder. Jonathan Russell is a player, he's not, as I said, not blessed with pace. Daniel Johnson is not at 6. He's not really at 8, he's at 10. That's where he played for Stoke City right now. He's at 10. And, Demario Phillips, he's that only local player in the squad. I don't think he's a 6. That he can do a shift, playing at number 8, but I really think he's at 10 and a winger. But yeah, people, see you guys in a Drift, because hope you guys look out for that match flag. Canada match flag into Kingston. Look out for that one. That one's supposed to drop. That match flag's supposed to drop on Saturday, I think, probably in the noon, midday, them time, at 1 o'clock. Look out for that match flag coming up for that Kingston one, and the Toronto one. Look out for those match flag people. I'm going out right now. People, bless up on yourself. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, everything, man. Share the video. Let everyone see what's going on over here at Nikado Media House. Bless up to Daniel Football Show, man. People go over there and give him a support. Daniel Football Show, the man said we're going to win 2-1. His channel is up there on the screen. Yeah, we out, people. Bless up on yourself. Thanks for watching, man. This is Nikado Media House. People, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're new. Click that subscription bell so you can get notified every time when Nikado Media House put out a video or going live or anything. Really appreciate everyone. Bless up. Out.